Hey, Pusnet, new video. This one is an interesting find that I just purchased, and I'll explain a little bit how it came about, how I found this. And so far, I tried it twice. One on the one on the trail, and one for the here in the shack, radio shack, like we call it here. But I'll explain a little bit how I came or what I was looking for and stuff, because it's kind of a bunch of things, and it got all together, and so far it works very good for exactly what I purchased. So a few months back, I mentioned, or I think I did a video too. There was a big exercise here on earthquake, and part of the emergency communication, I was inside. Kind of be part of the exercise. So I was gathering information as the communication was entering. Part of the exercise was that amateur radio was bringing up some info and stuff, and you had to provide it and stuff. So basically, what an emergency team would provide. But when I was there, it was my first time to ever did that, and so it was quite fascinating. But when I was there, what we had was basically headphones, and it was connected to which I didn't know existed, an audio splitter. And so what was happening is that I was listening to two different frequencies. What was coming into one of my ears was frequency number one, and what was coming out on the other ears was frequency number two. So that way, if I knew that, for example, this is the emergency frequency and it's not very all used, and this is just general communication, if I hear something in my ears, then you kind of perked up, because this is a more important message than this one on this ear. So this is a little bit how it goes, because you have like a lot of information and stuff. And also the other advantage of this was like the big headphones kind of things. The other advantage of that was that it muffles the sound, because I mean, you're in a communication room, there's people, there's another person sitting right beside me, there's two other people listening to the same time doing communication and stuff. So you need to kind of shut down all this, because you're like, yeah, monitoring different frequency. So I was kind of interested in that concept, because it's like, hey, in an emergency situation here in my home, that could be important, because I would do a little bit the same thing. I would be listening to ham radios and see what the traffic is doing and reports and stuff, as I would be listening to scanners, because police, repairmans, and all that stuff, and trying to gather all this information so that I can have a good picture. So if you imagine, like, if you would have the radios when the France bomb, like, or the more recent thing, France bomb just goes, they would be scattered all over the place. I mean, there would be police calling, there would be amateur radio too, like, hey, did you hear that and stuff. There would be Twitters and stuff. So what I'm working on right now is kind of making a system so that if I can do this, it's because you have this tsunami of information. Some of it may not be as important, but some of it will be pretty important to make yourself a pretty good pictures, and then take a decision and kind of attach to the importance of communication into a prepare and things. So I was looking for one of those splitters box. Also, as I started to starting to get more into Summit on the Air, which is basically you go on top of a mountain and you have your radios and stuff. It's good etiquette, because I was reading documents on that. It's good etiquette, because obviously imagine that you just climb these nice mountains and stuff, and you have this guy with like radios and talking CQ, blah blah blah, and you hear like the shatter everywhere and stuff, and you get to see CW and stuff. So it's a good etiquette to have headphones, so that you don't bother everybody else that is there with your radio, because obviously there can be a lot of conversation going up and down, and they don't need to hear that sound. That's not what they're here for. So I was looking for a pair of headphones, so that as I started doing that and stuff. So I was looking at different headphones, And I was not very interested in buying like the one for the radios and stuff because they're bigger and things. So I was looking at just the ones on Best Buy, and I came into those ones. So first of all, we'll tell you where those two stories come. As you can see, they're very compact. I mean, this they hold in my hands, so they're very compact. Second of all, what they do is their noise canceling. Canceling. Sometimes the French brain just kicks in and it's hard to. So it's their noise canceling. So that means like so they're great like for when you're in the airplanes or things like that. But they have a function that is very cool, and this is why I like them so much about. Let's see if you can see that. Do you see that they're actually, first of all, do you notice that there's no cords into it and they're not Bluetooth? You see there's a hole there? But do you notice that there's another hole right here too? This is where this does both stories, and this is why those two stories and stuff. So basically, if I put them, so I cannot hear the outside. Each ears, I can plug a different radio, and I was trying that yesterday, and so I had my Yaesu VX6R plug on one ears, and I had the scanner plug on the other ear, and literally this is exactly like I was mentioning to the exercise. My Yaesu would come on one ears, and the scanner would come on the other ear. The beauty with that too is that because I got lucky, there was a net going on, and for those that don't know what a net is basically there's one person in control. Everybody kind of talks in, and the net says, "Yeah, okay, I acknowledge you" and stuff. So there's a lot of conversation going on, but it's sporadic because she'll say the net will, because it was a she yesterday. Anybody who wants to sign in, so sometimes there's moments of silence. And as I was scanning on another thing, I was scanning, I think, workers over here. When the sound on one ear, so basically if my my Yaesu didn't go in and the scanner came in, then I could hear it on both sides, so it became very loud. But as soon as the Yaesu would come back, and the sound would be equalized again. So basically, one on each, and then when one goes down, it's one on both sides, and so you hear it nicely. So I was able to monitor different sounds, different information coming from other people. So obviously it's a skills that I need to practice, because again, oh yeah, okay, my scanner is that, whoa, okay, I just heard this. And so basically you have to kind of focus on different conversations and stuff, like people were just chattering and everything. So I have to kind of, but this is the practice of becoming a good operator. And now with those headphones, not only I can practice just like I did yesterday, plug myself on the net while I'm listening on the scanning and stuff like this, but I can also monitor. So when there's a disaster too, I'm prepared. But not only when I'm doing emergency communication, but also in a disaster in my home. So those little, I'll put the link down. But yeah, I bought them at Best Buy. They were $40, so that was very cheap. And I tried them as well last time that I went snowshoeing, and I was with a group, so I didn't have a time. I was hoping, because now when I go snowshoeing, I've been preparing to practice with my backpack, so I carry all my one-nighter, because when I in the summer and hopefully this winter, if I have a chance to do it 2 days off, I hope to go for a night out, so go for a weekend, well, the nurse weekend, so sometimes it's a Monday, Tuesday, but a 2-day out. So go walk one place and sleep overnight, and then come back and set up my antennas. But because I was with a group, I didn't have a chance to install my antenna. So then I took this opportunity to practice a different skills, which is one of my antennas is basically can be set up as a man pack. Right? Basically mean that I had my backpack, and all I did was set up my antenna, and so I could try to communicate. Well, while I was on walking, I had my radio in my jacket, and I had those headphones on, and so basically I could hear, and I had my microphone, so then I could talk. So very compact, very small. I don't have to have like the big ones and stuff. They're great for because what I didn't like with the big ones is that they're not very portable. It's more for home and when you're inside or for field days, but those ones are great for QRP. And with that, two things inside, so it comes with a cable that has like two different attach, depending of like what type of because obviously they're made for listening to your iPhone or things like that. But what I've been using is just an audio cable that I have here, that I use even for my digital communication. So it's a cable that can have multiple use. I order another one because one of the, and so for my Yaesu now I use the cable that came with this. I just plug it either in my microphone if I want to speak at the same time, or if I just want to listen, I got a jacks for digital communication. So all I do is I plug in on one of my jacks, and then I can hear them in my things if I just want to monitor. But the issue that I have right now is the Baofeng, because the Baofeng use a two-prong connectors on the side, so there's not really a jack for a microphone because it's a special jacks on side. So I got a cable coming in because it's going to be also good for digital communication. So when I go digital communication, a lot of the cables that I'm purchasing right now is to transform, is to bring sounds from one device to either a computer and digital communication, and in this case is to bring the audio sound to my ears through those things. So a lot of the cables that I have, I don't have to purchase any more cables beside that Baofeng, but again I needed it for digital communication, so it goes well with my multi-purpose kit. But for $40, it works great. And like I said, I was actually walking with them as I was doing snowshoeing, and I mean, the thing didn't really get wet and stuff. Obviously I don't think I would go inside the rain with them just like this. But I would be protected because obviously they're not made for that. But even if I scratch them, they're $40, and so if something really happens wrong to them, they're only $40. They're not like a $300 pair of ones that are there for microphones and stuff that a lot of the radio comes for. So I wanted to do a quick video on that. Like I said, I'll put the links down, and I think there's a video, or if not, I'll put a video of a YouTube that demonstrate of it. But great little find. I'm very pleased with the purchase, and so far it's great. And today I'm about to do another videos on antennas, and I think you'll see them. You'll see me using them. So. Anyway, that was my quick video on the urban ears for QRP or communication or disaster communication. So talk to you soon.